We're back to the Neil Haley Show, and I'm first excited to welcome my co-host Lefty, my filmmaker. Lefty, how are you? I know you're excited about our guests, and we're going to have a lot of fun in our conversation today
Absolutely.
about anime, which I have no real clue about anime, guys. I talked to my co-host; he definitely has some, and it was really intriguing stuff. So I'm excited to welcome Leah President and Lee Alec Murray to the program. Guys, thanks for stopping by. You have a podcast, and we're going to talk about specifically the anime effect. And but first, we're going to go into some interesting questions. But how many people still, if you tell them you're involved in anime, don't know what anime is? And then I know that we're gonna have another question about that. But the cluelessness of what anime is still.
Oh gosh, I think even if most people haven't sat down and press play on an episode, in general, I think most people know the Dragon Ball, the Naruto, the Sailor Moon, but on our podcast, The Anime Effect, what we like to do is take people where they're at. If you've never seen any anime, if you just want to see what everybody's talking about, we sit down with you, we give you our recs every week. There's so much content coming out every season, so we like to make it really simple and help people understand what anime really is.
Yeah, amazing. And for the listeners that probably have never even seen an episode, what is your definition of anime?
Oh, that's a good question. So my definition of anime would be stories told through an animated medium that has wide sweeping genres. So anime is kind of all encompassing, right? Like you have your action, you have your sports, you have music-based anime, you have daily life or family-based anime. So it's storytelling on an animated medium that has as many genres as there are film genres.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Now, I guess in looking at it, the most popular anime would be what?
Most popular?
It depends on what genre. So if you're there's something for everyone. So if you're like a comedy person, a true crime person, or if you like just like a classic hero's journey, there is definitely something for everyone. But I think the one that really penetrates or has like a long history of penetrating culture is probably something like a Dragon Ball. It's something that it crosses generations. So we have like new Dragon Ball fans from my generation, which fortunately or unfortunately I am Gen Z, but my parents generation loved Dragon Ball and at least have some kind of understanding of what it is. So I think that would be like one of the most popular. But again, new content is coming out all the time. We're grabbing new fans all the time. It's really reaching into something that was once a niche and making it a mainstream way of telling these stories.
Yeah. I mean, I'm currently right now into Demon Slayer. A friend of mine actually
good
introduced
choice.
me. Yeah. I don't have any way of streaming it, so I kind of just wait for Netflix to bring out the seasons, but instantly
come on, you gotta come over to Crunchyroll.
You gotta get that Crunchyroll subscription, man.
Oh, well, I mean, send me the link and I'll definitely check it out. Absolutely. And obviously Anime Day is coming up pretty soon. Like what do you guys have any major plans for that day?
Oh, this is our Christmas.
This is anime Super
Bowl. This is gonna be something that's like big for Crunchyroll. We're all anime fans, so I think a lot of us are gonna spend the day binge watching our favorite shows for sure.
Wow. Awesome. And being, I guess you saved April 15th, didn't you? So that National Anime Day can finally make people not think about tax day, right?
Right.
Oh yeah. If you want something to take your mind off it, yeah.
That's what I would say. I would say for sure. Guys, when you think about specifically enough how it keeps growing, where do you think it's going to go next? Where do you think anime is going to go next, especially with a lot of stars using anime, pro wrestling, movies, culture, all these things. Where do you see anime going to somebody who's like me, who's in their 50s, will start really paying attention to anime? Give you an example. Last year I was on a podcast about pickleball, meaning the guy wrote a book on pickleball. Never heard of it in my life. It was Pickleball for Dummies. This year it's so popular, everyone's talking about it. I'm seeing pickleball courts. Do you start seeing it more mainstream anime coming soon? Do you guys see it to a point where even someone in their 70s or 80s will know anime, or 60s? Do you think
Well,
we're
here's
getting
something
it?
crazy. Here's something crazy. I mean, we're talking about, sports and things like that. In my generation, and this comes from a study that Polygon recently put out, in my generation, only 25% of people are following the NFL, but 42% are watching anime weekly.
25% NFL, that's it?
Yep. Yep.
That's it.
And so if you're wanting any indication of, how the nerds are kind of winning this round and
All right.
drawing in more and more fans, it goes down to just that. People are really connecting with these stories, and it is really infiltrating, fashion and movies. And you mentioned wrestling, and Lee can attest to that. He's a huge wrestling fan, and we definitely talk about it.
Well, you're gonna have to talk to Lefty, because I'm making my comeback into professional wrestling after 29. And I was in the Attitude Era, but not as a big superstar. I did WWE once, but I traveled all over the world. And now we're about to start the documentary fundraiser next week. So maybe we're gonna have to add anime into this, involving whatever wrestling outfit I'm going to do. So we're gonna have to talk about this further and off air for sure. Now, Lefties, go ahead, Lefty. I know we're almost running out of time. I could just go on and on and on about these things, but go ahead.
Why podcasting? What got you into that medium?
Podcasting, I think, is I think it's an easy medium for people to absorb, right? Like, people are listening while they're on their way to work, they're listening while they're doing tours around the house, or walking the dog or what have you. So I think it was right for us to be like, let's kind of meet people where they are right now, and that is listening and learning and interacting on the go. And podcasts is honestly just the perfect place to do it, because not everybody has time to sit down and watch a show, even though we very much make time to sit down and watch anime on Crunchyroll.
Oh yeah.
But we thought it was perfect, because we could interact with people in a different way, and more of a welcoming, hey, come and sit on the couch with us. We're going to talk about news around the anime sphere. We're going to give you recommendations. We're going to answer you guys' questions. You guys can also share your recommendations with us. So anime is become so big that we, decided that podcasts was the best way to, kind of start people off. And then if you want to watch us on Crunchyroll or on Crunchyroll YouTube, you have that option as well. But we thought podcasts would be perfect just to kind of meet people where they are right now.
Right.
Yeah, it kind of takes away the intimidating part of it, because we're talking about how much anime is really out there and how much it is infiltrating culture and like growing out of this niche. I think it's a great way to like ask no dumb questions and sit around with some people that can point you in the direction of an anime that we think you'll really like.
Are you guys the #1 anime podcast?
Ooh, we're hoping to get there.
Yeah, we're trying to strap as many rockets as we can.
And then promoting and going out and doing things. Works the best place we can listen and watch your podcast. Where can we go?
Yeah, so we're available everywhere that you find podcasts: Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We put out our episodes every Friday. We've got a video episode and an audio only episode, so you can check those out anywhere. You can search up Crunchyroll, The Anime Effect.
All right. Nice. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Neil, Lefty,
for sure. Thanks for having us.
All right, take care. You're listening and watching the Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.